Dog Country at 8:03. It's time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch, Ford and Blankshire, Murphy Builder Supply, Women's Health Center, and Wolf Animal Hospital. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jonathan. It's Mondays with Stephen Meeks. We got Stephen on the phone. Stephen, how you doing today from Atlanta, Georgia?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well. How about you today?
Doing great. It's a Monday, but the big story is the storms that ripped through the state of Georgia and Alabama and Florida. So your thoughts on that?
Well, I tell you what, it was a bit of a rough drive up yesterday afternoon. Late, of course, I got out and came back before it got rough around Wayne County, but up north of Macon, between Macon and Forsyth, it got pretty rough. But in talking to folks back home last night, I know there was some rough weather and some tornadic activity over around the Odom area, I believe over on Bethlehem Road. So it was definitely a stormy night in Georgia, but I don't know of any injuries at this point. I know we had some damage there in Wayne County, and talking to folks there that when they'll be out surveying the damage this morning and taking a look at that and see how we can be of assistance if that be the case.
It's just a sad story in Alabama. I think the death toll was at 23. They said it'll probably rise with the research today. So again, everything was in dark last night. So once the light comes, they'll be searching.
Storm. It got rough here in Atlanta later in the after I arrived, but it was definitely a pretty tough system moving through, creating some damage and havoc.
Well, you're up in Atlanta. The crossover day is quickly approaching. Tell us what we need to be aware of this week.
Yeah, crossover day is coming up on Thursday. Before I get to that, let me just mention it was great to see Commissioner Thomas here last week. He was up for ACCG meetings, and it was great to have him here on, I guess, Friday morning. Had breakfast with him over at the depot and had him down on the chamber floor, so it was great to see him and have him here. But Thursday's big crossover day. Last week on Thursday, we were able to finalize the fiscal year 20 budget, which goes into effect on July the 1st. And as much anticipated and talked about, there is a pay raise included in that budget for teachers, all certified teachers and employees for school systems across the state. It actually comes out to be about an 8.1% increase, although we had heard from the governor of his commitment to do a $5,000 pay raise, which is the ultimate goal. In order to do that right now and include everyone that we included, that pay raise that will kick into effect will be $2,775 for the next fiscal year, beginning July 1. And initially there were some support staff and teachers that were not included, but with the great work of the Appropriations Committee Chairman and Chairman Robert Dickey from down around Musella was able to work it out where we included social workers and counselors, speech pathologists, media specialists, and others that are so important to our school system. So that's really the big news right now, of getting that across the floor and over to the Senate Thursday, excuse me. And as most people know, it's mandated that the appropriation bills, particularly budget, begins in the House. So the House is always the first to pass that and send it over to the Senate, where they then consider it and move to a conference committee if need be. So good thing there. We've also addressed voting machines as a big debate and topic in the Capitol last week, where we were able to give the Secretary of State the authority to move forward with new technology and new voting machines for the state of Georgia. That will include what has been discussed as a multi-step process in voting, of once you go in and check in and provide ID, etc. Then you will go to one voting machine, and that will then allow you to mark your ballot, select the candidates you would like to vote for. Then it actually physically prints out a sheet of paper, which you review, and at that point your vote has not been counted. But when reviewing that, you go over to a different machine where it physically scans the ballot and collects it into a box that is then used for auditing later if need be. So that's kind of the technology that we're looking at, and giving the Secretary of State the ability to move forward with some new voting machines for the next election.
I read where there was a discrepancy on what those voting machines cost, that they really didn't give you the right figures. What's going to be the ultimate cost for that? The state's picking that tab, right?
Right. The state will pick up a tab for it, and depending on which technology the Secretary of State decides to move forward when we were not prescriptive in the legislation as to how and what he should choose, but giving the scenario of the companies and who is out there who can provide it the quickest in terms of what the size of the companies are. We weren't very prescriptive in telling the Secretary what to do, but giving him the authority to look at the technologies out there and see. So I think they were just looking at, I believe it was 150 million was the number that we were getting. So I think it really depends on which technology he ultimately decides to go with.
And going back to the teachers' increase in pay, you mentioned they're going to include other, the question we keep getting from people about school bus drivers aren't included in this. Is that correct?
Not to my knowledge. Now, there is an additional 2% state employee raise for others employees, but I don't believe that the school bus drivers would be included in that 8% raise.
Right. We keep getting people asking that question, so I just want to make sure we clarify that. Any thought about they say here, and I don't know how it is, I'm sure it's around the state of Georgia, but they're having trouble finding bus drivers. Every time you turn around, there's a need for bus drivers. So people are asking that question. Has the state legislature looked into any of that issue?
I haven't heard any conversations along that line, but we'll certainly ask the questions. And you're exactly right. I think most communities that you drive through, there'll be an advertisement for school bus drivers needed to get our kids safely to school. But I haven't heard any of that chatter, but we'll certainly raise the issue.
One other issue I read last week, it seems to be a big story. It comes up almost every year at the legislature discussion about statewide gambling. I saw where the Speaker of the House, the governor, lieutenant governor said that there's an appetite for it. They're not going to block a vote. They think it needs to go to the voters of the state of Georgia. They're supposed to, in fact, vote on that this week. What day will they vote on that?
I haven't seen the Senate scheduled, but I do believe yesterday it was up for consideration this week in the Senate. I haven't seen anything on our whip schedule. We've actually got a meeting in the next few minutes to go through some of those pieces of legislation for the week. But I haven't seen it on our schedule this week, but do believe the Senate is intending on taking that up.
Where do you see that going? Will that
I
pass?
don't know. Like the Speaker said, and the governor, lieutenant governor, may be an appetite to put it out to the voters to see what the wishes of the voters are. But I don't have a good feeling for it right now in the House as to whether it would pass or fail.
Okay, and the update on broadband, they keep telling us that's the big issue up there. Where we stand on that?
Continues to be a great discussion every week. We continue to move forward, Bob, and there's no new legislation right now. We were able to do some other things last week, particularly for EMCs and right-of-ways that needed to be addressed for the EMCs to continue to do what they're doing. But we're trying to take up great efforts to move broadband forward across the state and make sure that we get it out to all the residents.
The other story that's curious to me, I keep reading a bit, I'm curious to see where this goes, but it seems like there's a battle between the city of Atlanta and the legislature. Legislature's talking about possibly taking over the Hartsfield Airport, and the city of Atlanta doesn't want that to happen. Delta's against that. So where do you see that battle going?
In the meetings that I've been in, it hasn't come up at this point. I know that it continues to be an issue, particularly with local government here and the way that it's run. Of course, we've got a new mayor here in Atlanta, but I know that the state obviously has interest in that and making sure that it continues to be the #1 airport in the country. So I haven't heard anything specifically, Bob, about it at this point in terms of legislation and moving that for the state to take over ownership of it.
Well, one final thing, any legislation that's important to this area or district that we need to be aware of?
Well, I think there's a couple of things just in general that we always need to take a look at. One thing I failed to mention earlier within the appropriations bill, Bob, that included in that was, I believe, $108,000 for a new ag mechanics lab at the Wayne County High School through a request that was put in through the ag education program. So one good thing there, it was a $108,000 for capital equipment purchase. As the bill moves forward, just something to follow there. But we continue to work on access to quality health care. Obviously, it was an issue that came through the the Rural Development Council. We've had conversations of revising the certificate of need attribute to that to hospitals. So as we have moved forward, I understand there were some revisions adopted on Friday in committee that I believe everybody will be happy with. Still waiting on some details from that. But the access to quality health care will continue to be a big item as we move forward. And number one, protecting our hospitals, but also making sure that we have access to affordable health care across the state. So that's really the big item right now to be following. Of note, the other thing I'll mention is today is Peanut Butter and Jelly Day at the Capitol, so a tribute to our peanut farmers across the state, and we certainly appreciate all they do for us.
Nothing wrong with P&J, that's for sure.
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe lunch for the day.
There you go. Well, Stephen, it's always a pleasure hearing from you on Mondays. Again, stay safe in Atlanta. We appreciate you calling in every Monday and giving everybody the update. Again, I think it's a big addition to our show here, and we appreciate you being part of it.
Well, I certainly appreciate the opportunity. One last thing I'll mention is our PAGE program. If we have any students that have interest in coming up to PAGE at the Capitol, I believe it's ages 12 to 18, would love for you to come up and spend the day at the Capitol with us in the PAGE program. And if anybody has any opportunity to do that, it'd be great to have you. I always invite you to give me a call. My office number in the district is 912-371-0039. And, of course, the office here at the Capitol is 404-656-0178.
Sounds great, Stephen. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, again, those comments of State Representative Stephen Meeks, Mondays with Meeks here on Big Dog Country, FM 105.5 on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Tomorrow it's Blake Tillery, and Wednesday is Bill Werkhauser. Again, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. We've got some more guests in the green room. Fellowship Christian Athletes has an event coming up. We've got those people in the green room, and we'll come back and talk with them right after the timeout.
When we say right on the corner and right on the price, we mean it at Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Up to $12,000 off 2018 F-150s. $12,000 off America's #1 selling truck. Stop the search. Call Mike Birch and 24/7 at MikeBirchFord.com. Women's Health Center, your hometown OBGYN group, providing exceptional obstetrical and gynecological care for women for the past 20 years. We have 3 convenient locations in Jessup, Blackshear, and Baxley. We understand that choosing your OBGYN is a personal decision and that the relationship with your doctor and the trust you build is essential. At Women's Health Center, we provide obstetrical care and guide you through the process, making sure you and your baby stay healthy. We provide the most advanced ultrasound technology with the clearest pictures ever. Annual gynecological care gives patients an opportunity to take charge of their health. Some of our services include hormone therapy, pellets, Botox, the new 3, 5, and 10-year IUDs, Nexplanon, and much more. We accept all insurance carriers, including TRICARE, Medicaid, and we accept all insured and uninsured patients. Please call our office at 912-588-1020 and visit MajorMD.com for more information about Women's Health Center. That's MAGERMD.com.
It's the Wayne County Young Farmers Truck Pull, Friday and Saturday, March 8th and 9th at the J.C. Fairgrounds in Jessup. 7 p.m. both nights. Join the Wayne County Young Farmers for lots of family fun and entertainment.
Get ready for the truck pull.
Watch the 2- and 4-wheel drive modified trucks, 2-wheel drive blower trucks,
2-wheel drive pro street trucks,
the 4-wheel drive pro stock trucks, and the 4-wheel drive diesel trucks. It's the Wayne County Young Farmers Truck Pull, Friday and Saturday, March 8th and 9th at the J.C. Fairgrounds in Jessup.
Both Friday night and Saturday night, 7 p.m.
Adults $12, 6 to 12, $6. Children under 6 are free.
Concessions will be available and no alcoholic beverages allowed.
It's the annual Wayne County Young Farmers Truck Pull
at the Jessup J.C. Fairgrounds.
Across from the Reindeer Pulp Mill in Jessup.
This Friday and Saturday night, 7 p.m. both nights.
For more information, call Franklin Birch at 579-6647.
Or go to WCYF.net. More of the world-famous...
Do you have a toothache or an issue that you need looked at? Or you're just looking for a new dental home? Come to Midway Family Dental, where we're more than happy to fix that smile or maintain those pearly whites just for you. We focus on dentures, Invisalign, teeth whitening, extractions, root canals, and most importantly, your checkups. So please come by Midway Family Dental, where our patients are like family. Call 912-880-2288 or stop by 1718 North Coastal Highway in Midway. We look forward to hearing from you.
More of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show at 8:19, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford of Blankshire, Women's Health Center, Murphy Builder Supply, and Wolf Animal Hospital.
Okay, we got a group of FCA students in here. Jason Brown's the FCA director, and Jason, tell us what's taking place and what these students are in here to talk about.
I think you got me mistaken.
I'm sorry.
Coach Brown.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Dylan Brown.
Dylan Brown. I'm sorry, Dylan. There you go.
There's too many of us on Wayne
It's a Monday, man. You got to apologize.
Oh, trust me. I know. I'm going to do my best not to hack up a bunch of mess, all this pollen we have going on. But yeah, we got a good bit of our leadership students in here wanting to talk about some things coming up through the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So, I mean, I think this is probably what the 10th time I've been on the radio with FCA, and I've been on staff for 5 years here. Covering the Wayne, Long, and Liberty County area. And it's number one, above everything, you know, we want to share the gospel. We want to get out into the schools and the community, share the Word of God, and the best way to do that is by using these student leaders. So we got some events coming up, both of which these student leaders are going to lead. One coming up here pretty soon will be Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. We got an event called Meet on the Mound. This is our third of time we have done this event. It's turned into an annual event for us. We also do one similar to it in the fall called Fields of Faith. So, you know, obviously with it being Fellowship of Christian Athletes, we want to keep it on an athletic mindset. So we use terms Meet on the Mound and Fields of Faith. But really what it is just a community service for these student leaders to get together for the whole entire community and lead it and share the Word of God. And I'm gonna let Jared. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Jared and let him kind of fill in some details, and we'll let a few of them talk a little bit about it as well.
Okay, sounds great. Jared Mosley.
All right, so March 6th at 6:30 on Wednesday, we're gonna be having Meet on the Mound, and we're gonna have 5 stations at each of the bases and on the mound, and at each position on the field, the devotional group is gonna have a meaning for where it's at on the field. So first, second, third, and home base, and then Meet on the Mound, just in the center of it all. I think Gant's going to talk about some stuff they're going to be having done at the baseball games.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Gant.
I'm Gant Starlin. We are going to be doing something relatively new. It's going to be some tailgates for the FCA. We want to bring this in for the community at baseball games. What we're going to do is we're going to share the testimonies. We're going to have games. We're going to have certain things going on before the game. We're going to be giving away pizza, water, and we want to bring in some money for the FCA. We would like the community to come in and donate whatever they will. But this will be the first year that we've done this actually, and we're grateful to do it for the community and the people who attend the baseball games. I believe that they need to stop by and donate if they will, and help us with our ministry and gospel, spreading it out to the school and through the athletic field, wherever we are. We feel like we need to spread it out, and we could really use this opportunity to better ourselves. And there will actually be testimony shared from us baseball players and from the athletes on the field that show kind of our testimony through what we've been through, to get out into the world and show you guys who we are really in Christ and as an athlete and as a person. So, Hamp, if you got anything to say, backing up on that. All right.
Hamp Perkins doesn't want to talk. You shy, Hamp? That's just a microphone. How about Mr. Feltman here?
Oh, well, I'm going to be having a group at Meet on the Mound. My name is Micah Feltman, but I'm going to be having a group at Meet on the Mound, 6:30 at the Dust Bowl Wednesday, and we're hoping all the churches are willing to bring their youth groups. But it's not just for the youth; it'll be for people of all ages. Feel free to bring whoever. It'll be a pretty powerful message we got. This is one of our community events, but most of what we do is really focused at Wayne County High School. So it'll be good to get out in the community and get people to support us from there.
Look it up. And we have one female student with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your part of FCA is.
I'm Hannah Wise, and at FCA I'm a team captain. I'm a leader. And along with our 5 groups that we're going to have, which are going to be student-based, testimonies and devotionals given. On Wednesday, we're also going to have our FCA band there to lead us in worship that night. We'll have them sing before and afterwards, and also have an altar call that night. So it's really going to be a powerful thing, and we'd like to see a lot of people there.
This taking place this Wednesday, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Where it's going to take place again?
It's going to be at the Dust Bowl, the practice field behind the public library.
Behind the public library. And what time is it going to take place?
It'll be at 6:30.
6:30. Okay. Anything else, Dylan?
Yeah, absolutely. We have been trying to run around this maze in here, but just all in all, just to kind of close it out, we obviously didn't want to take too much time just to really share announcements on what we got coming up, but just to kind of wrap it up, close it out. It's really good to get out and hear the heart and the passion from these students. There's going to be, I think we have a numerous amount of student leaders, and these are only 5 of them that are representing. We have plenty more, and a lot of them are going to be playing in the band, and a lot of them are going to be sharing testimonies, sharing devotion. But all in all, it's I think it's very important, especially in today's time, to hear from students' hearts. A lot of times you hear adults and guys, like me and pastors, preaching the gospel and sharing the gospel, but it's so much more powerful and so much more effective when someone young shares it, because it's genuine, and you can just feel their heart and their passion whenever they open their mouth and speak about the gospel, something that they're passionate about. And I think that's the most important thing that's going to come out of Wednesday, is just coming and experiencing a move of God from these student leaders. And we're looking forward to the event. Again, that's going to be this Wednesday, starting at 6:30 at what's called the Dust Bowl. I don't know if you can really call it a Dust Bowl anymore because they fixed it up.
I was going to say, it looks pretty nice.
It's a pretty nice field. I think we need to get a new name for it. But that would be the practice field located right there beside the library. Just behind the high school game. I will say this, and I do understand this, that we will be having a JV game being played that day, and I've been in communication with Coach McDonald about it, and he's been all for it. So it won't interfere anything with a JV game. I understand there's going to be some JV parents and baseball parents that are going to be there at the game, but maybe we can be praising Jesus on one field and winning a ball game on the other field all at the same time. So that'd be pretty cool.
So besides this show, how are you getting the word out? Are they sending flyers to other schools, or?
Well, that has been the student leaders and the leadership team have been sending the word out through our youth pastors and social media and text messages, and just any way you could possibly send the word out. They've been doing it. I wanted to put a lot of emphasis on our events, a lot of emphasis on these student leaders and our volunteers really taking the lead without me having to step in and do it all for them. It's a lot. I just feel like it's a lot more effective when they do it rather than just one person doing it. So
you have 5 students here involved in the FCA. How many students involved overall, do you think, in Wayne County?
Well, as far as a student leadership team amount, I'll let Gant, as far as a total amount, you probably have that more approximate amount than I do.
We probably have around 30 to 40 members in just the leadership. We have a lot of kids show up on Fridays to come in for our devotional. We usually get a speaker every week. We'll go out and we'll get into the school and bring them in and encourage them to come and sit down and listen to what these awesome speakers have to hear. We'll get youth pastors, people like I know my father's actually going to be speaking here in a little bit, in a few weeks. So we just like for people to come in and be encouraged for the day. I feel like that's for people, but as well as for how many people we can have anywhere between 50 to 100 people in one Friday morning session. So, and in leadership we have, like I said, around 30 probably to 40 people.
So it's every Friday morning you get together, and where's that take place at?
Right there in the auditorium, high school auditorium.
And everybody's invited, right?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you reach out to the entire student body.
Sir?
I said you reach out to the entire student body. Everybody's invited.
Yes, sir. We give out flyers. Actually, make morning announcements. So we do pretty much everything that we can. We have social media accounts set up on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. So we encourage every all the students to come. We make announcements. So whoever wants to come and hear the Word of God, the gospel, an encouraging word, they come and they get it.
Well, again, we've got people tuned in now, driving around. So one more time, as we close it out, tell us about Wednesday's event. Where's it going to take place? What else is going to take place? Who all's invited?
Jarrett?
March 6th, this coming Wednesday at 6:30 on the Dust Bowl, right there beside the public library, right behind the high school baseball field, just right there.
Okay.
Thanks for having us on, Mr. Bob.
No problem.
Appreciate
Good to see y'all. Like I said, great organization. I know Dylan does a lot of work. Like I said, how about the banquet again? You making plans for this year's banquet that you have every year?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know that's really the main thing I've been on here and talked about. That's going to be coming up May the 9th is the date we've picked for that.
Have a guest speaker lined up yet?
Yes, sir. We've been able to line up Charlie Ward, Heisman Trophy winner
from Florida
State University. Yep. Fun fact for you.
What a great story he's got.
Yeah, if you don't know much about him, like I only knew that he was a Heisman Trophy winner, but I didn't know that he played 11 years in the NBA for the New York Knicks and actually played more basketball than he did football.
Yeah, right. He's a great basketball player. Yeah.
So, and I believe he played a little bit of minor league baseball too.
All right. Okay.
So, but
and the date on that again?
That'll be May the 9th, and
Coastal Pines again.
Sir?
Coastal Pines again?
Right, yes, sir, Coastal Pines, and I'll definitely be back on the radio to speak more to that.
Okay, well, we appreciate you students coming in. I know you're dying to get back to school on a Monday. So.
Thank you, Mr. Bob.
Before you leave, Hamp, you want to say anything? I mean, we left you out, Hamp. I mean, you sure you don't want to talk?
Well, I just hope that everybody comes out and supports all these great events. I mean, it really does mean a lot to the community, and I just hope to have as many people there as possible come worship God.
Okay. Well, again, appreciate y'all coming in. We'll look forward to the event on Wednesday. And that's going to do it for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Thank you.
Got ticks? Well, we hope not. I'm Dr. Charles Hall.
And I'm Dr. Stefania Wilcox.
We are the Associate Veterinarians at Wolf Animal Hospital. As the cool air rolls in, we are noticing the ticks are too. Let us help guard your pets against tick-borne disease this year. Come see us at our main branch, Wolf Animal Hospital, at 755 West Cherry Street.
And now we can serve you from our new mobile veterinary clinic in select locations throughout Appling, Brantley, Long, and Wayne counties. The mobile service will provide preventive medicine and outpatient procedures on site. For more information, contact Wolf Animal Hospital at 912-427-3212.
I'm Dr. Charles Hall.
And I'm Dr. Stefania Wilcox.
And we are ready to serve you and your four-legged family members at our main hospital or one of our satellite locations. Contact us at Wolf Animal Hospital at 912-427-3212. 912-427-3212.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
WIFO-FM Big Dog Country, 8:32 on this Monday morning. Let's get an update from Fox News Radio.
Are there survivors trapped in the ruins of their homes? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Crews keep searching after a tornado ripped through southeast Alabama, killing at least 23 people.
The damage is significant. I would put it into the category of catastrophic based on the destruction of the homes we've seen.
Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones, the trail of destruction about a half-mile wide. Mobile homes gone, other houses demolished down to the slab.